kickboxing when I was 18, bro.
Okay, there was a lot happening then, eh?
Yeah, I went, like I said, I went and met the boys at a club. They asked me to put on a t-shirt to work with them.
Yep.
New Year's night.
Yeah.
And that night, you know, I met Ray Seffel.
Okay.
You know, I met Ray Seffel. I met all the boys that know from Liga. And that night we became a bond. We all bonded because of the difficulty we had on that night of stopping so many different groups. And when I say stopping them, it's full-on brawls. Full-on brawls. Sometimes we'd get the better of some groups. Sometimes some groups would almost get the better of us.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, but after
messy
that, messy. After that week, you know, that following Tuesday, I made my way to Balmoral. I made my way to train with these guys.
Okay.
Because I thought, man, these are the guys.
Yes.
You know, kickboxing, man. I don't care if my kicking is shit. I'm gonna go kickbox.
Yep.
Because it wasn't so much I went there because I wanted to be a kickboxer. I wanted to be a part of this culture. I wanted to be a part of this group. You know?
Yep.
And that was it. And to be a part of fucking Ray Seffel and this shit.
All this. How did you end up in Melbourne? Like that, I mean, there's a bit of time. We're talking about when you're talking about hitting 18, doing kickboxing.
Yeah.
To now, like.
Yeah. No, I was. We all worked together. I mean, I had 2 jobs, sometimes 3 jobs.
Yeah.
You know, making crap money. But I think at age 28, you know, things got a little bit too disruptive over there.
Okay.
You know, and I thought to myself, it would be best for me if I moved to, you know, if I went to Sydney and.
Okay.
At the same time, Sip, when I turned 28, my mum had rung us and said, Dad's on his deathbed.
Okay.
And I thought, must be God talking.
There you go.
So I go to Sydney.
Yeah.
I go to Sydney. Oh, sorry, bro.
Yeah.
On this, the reason why I say God's talking is because the same week, right?
Yeah.
And the day after I spoke to my sister and that in Sydney, I get a phone call from Lucy Tui, and Lucy Tui,
she was managing
managing
Mark,
and she said to me, "Hey, bro, do you want to fight?" And I said, "Yeah, fucking oath I want to fight." I didn't even ask who. I didn't ask where.
This sounds like exactly the same bloody page that I read in Mark's book. She was giving him all those sort of fights.
We all laugh about it, Seth, because Mark and I, you know, we were doing things on the go at the time.
Yeah, massive.
I hadn't trained or nothing.
Okay.
So Lucy goes, "Do you want to fight?" I said, "Yeah. Where and how much?" She goes, "I'll pay you $800, Clay boy, if you come here to Sydney." And I went, "Fuck Sydney? Yeah, I'll come. I'll be there." She goes, "Okay, get on the plane this Friday. I'll pick you up." I said, "Okay, I'll come."
Oh, so she knew about you from New Zealand?
Yeah. She already knew that I was, because I had the title at that time.
Well, there you go.
And then I hung up the phone. 2 minutes later, Seb, I ring her back. I said, "Hey, how much am I getting paid?" She says, "Bro, $800.
Yeah.
I went, "Yeah." I was the dumbest coconut going.
Well, $800. What year are we talking about?
This is 2000. No, sorry. Yes, 2000.
Well, that just goes to show.
No, sorry.
You guys must have been getting paid peanuts in Auckland.
It was ridiculous.
$200,
$300 max.
$800.
$800. I said to myself, "Yep, I'm coming."
Okay.
Right? Anyway, an hour and a half later, I ring her back.
Yeah.
"Lucy, who am I fighting?" She says, "Peter Graham." I said, fuck, I don't know who Peter Graham is.
Yeah. Sounds like a white boy is going to go down.
Yeah. She said, "Peter Graham?"
Yeah.
What a white sounding name.
Yeah.
Anyway, I hung up. I rang around.
Yeah.
Rang up some of the boys and said, "Fuck, Zully, be careful. Peter Graham's up and coming,
Yeah.
and he's one of the best kickboxers going around right now. And then they also told me he just finished beating up on Phil Fagan. And oh fuck, what did I get into? Then I thought to myself, I think that warrants about $1,000. But I was such a bad negotiator. Lucy too just laughed.
Oh,
at
you were
me.
just learning it, wasn't you?
She was just laughing at me
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
time, you know. So yeah, but that was my trip that I came over to
Yep.
to Sydney, and I think that fight's still on YouTube. Because in that fight, I thought to myself, I didn't care about Peter Graham,
Yep.
because he stood across the ring from me, and all I saw was, a white fella.
Okay.
No way this fella gonna beat me.
Yep.
So I had that mentality.
Yes.
And so we finished the rounds.
Yep.
I dropped him 3 times in that fight, and even if he hears this podcast, he will tell you
Yep.
that yes, Clay dropped me 3 times.
Okay.
He dropped me once.
Yep.
He dropped me once. But I still think to this day I should have been the Commonwealth champion of the world at that time for that title.
Well, you actually should, that $800 fight,
It was a title fight.
was it?
Commonwealth Games. Everyone laughed at me when I told them I got paid $800.
That's amazing.
They said even back then, Clay, you should have got paid in the thousands
Yeah.
for that fight, that particular fight.
Oh, well, it's just one big learning curve, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, that was crazy.
And in a way, that was that's where your career started, and your fighting started in Australia.
In Australia.
Okay.
Yeah, bro.
So you spent a bit of time in Sydney.
Spent a bit of time in Sydney. Not that time.
Yep.
I went home and then I came back for a rematch against Peter Graham again.
Okay.
So that time when I came back to fight Peter Graham the second time, the reason why I took that fight was just basically just to see my dad, who was very ill.
Oh, so you were in the area.
Yeah. So when I came back to Sydney to fight Peter Graham, it was also to visit Dad.
Okay.
And Dad died that week that I was there.
Wow.
So after I got beaten by Peter, but
Okay.
I can't even remember every round or what happened. He outpointed me
Yeah.
in that fight, but still to this day, that is one fight that I can't even remember, Sep,
Yeah.
because I wasn't really there,
Yeah.
and I used that trip just to get to Sydney, just to see my dad, and that was very lucky because, I was there when my dad passed away.
Oh, man.
Because of that trip.
And do you think that possibly could have had an effect on your fight?
I don't know.
Like, could you? I don't know. Some people was the fight after, or you came for your dad's funeral?
No. So I fought. Dad was still in hospital.
Yeah. Okay.
And the fight. So Dad passed away on the Sunday,
Okay.
and I went to the fight Saturday night. But they still had told me. They still told me that Dad's
Yep.
not gonna.
Okay.
But I don't want to make excuses.
Yes, okay.
Because, to be honest with you, I can't remember the fight.
Yep.
And I'm thinking to myself, nah, I'm not that sort of person to be affected by it.
Yep.
But I don't know, I must have been, because I can't even remember the fight.
Yep.
All I remember was the next day, went to see my dad who had passed. And that's all I could, I couldn't, even if someone had asked me, like, oh, how did the fight? No one asked about the fight because that wasn't even important at the time.
Okay.
My dad would never say, I love you.
Okay.
Never.
All right.
Actually, bro, I've never heard those words come out of his mouth.
Okay.
But at the same time, he looked at you with absolute love.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
That's a trick and a half because, when you tell the Palangi that, the Palangi would turn around and say, what, he couldn't tell you he loved you.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I've mentioned it to a few of my friends,
Yeah.
but they don't understand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But my dad, he could never tell you. Like, the best thing he ever did was smile.
Yeah.
Because I scored a try at Eden Park.
Yeah. Oh, your dad was there?
Yeah.
Massive.
I scored a try at Eden Park.
Yeah.
And Andy Hayden patted me on the back. And that's the only time I saw my dad smile. And he goes, yeah, Maru. Like that. That's it. Malo, and they got in the car, but I knew, man, fuck, that was heaps.
Yeah.
That was plenty. You know what I mean?
And how was the Samoa like growing up like around you? Was it pretty strong or?
It's strong. You can't speak English in my house, Seb.
So you're pretty fluent in your Samoa?
I can still speak Samoa.
Shit, that's awesome, man.
You know, only because in my house, bro.
Yeah.
You can't let my dad hear you speaking English.
Yeah.
Rap music, our radio,
Yeah.
it needed to be turned down because if it wasn't Samoan music,
Yeah.
it wasn't allowed. You know, and back then we only had those cassette tapes. You know, all our all our R&B stuff.
And your dad recognised that you like to sing as well?
Yeah, but he's like one of those dudes. He never gives you praise. He'll just be like, yeah.
Okay.
All that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, his way of you know.
Well, it's a lot different to how we're told to to speak to our kids now. Like you got to give them total reinforcement. Like and back in those days, I'm just making how things are different.
Yeah.
In contrast to how it was in the past, like what you say, there was not many, especially with Polynesians, and maybe I speak it from my own experience, so I can't generalize, but they do certain things that you get like yes, that they've acknowledged it. Like a little smile or something like that. But otherwise, it
can't be overdone.
Yeah,
it can't be overdone. No. Otherwise, it's too much.
Yeah.
They want to make sure that your ego is never, it'll never come forward.
Give an example of like somebody that's had to totally change their approach. Would there be anybody you can think of that?
I think everyone's done it, they said.
Yeah.
I think there's not a sportsman that you could,
yeah.
There's not a sports person,
yeah.
but you wouldn't hear about it because they've all done it in ways that it doesn't show us until you've read their biography or something.
Yeah.
And then you realise in most people,
yeah.
there always comes that point in time where they've made that personal change.
Yeah.
And it could be a person, it could be an environment, or it could be just within themselves. Religion sometimes has done it.
Yeah.
Religion is a big, is a big, massive thing, especially with us Polynesian.
And what sort of religion did you come from?
Christian.
Are you Christian?
Yes, I'm a Christian.
What sort of Christian faith? Like.
So I was born into So this is the way that some people look at it. Like, my father's a Presbyterian.
Okay.
Methodist.
Mm.
We grew up in that Presbyterian church type thing. But my grandmother's a very stern Mormon.
Okay.
All right. And my mother, who has a Mormon mother, is a very stern Catholic.
Wow.
Because her father, from the German background, they all come from Catholic.
Okay.
Catholic backgrounds.
Wow.
So, in growing up in a Presbyterian house, my dad was very aggressive with it.
Okay.
Because didn't ever want us to go to the Mormon church. Didn't ever want us to go to Catholic church.
Well, I think no matter what church you went to, I think they were all like that. I think I went to a Methodist church, and there was these. We tried to organise a rugby game with. I think it was some other church. It wasn't Presbyterian. It was another Samoan church.
Yeah.
And they said no, like you couldn't do it. And it was like, well, why? It's sport. Like it's not like we're doing Sunday school exams together.
That's the annoying thing about and look, Seb, my perception of religion is very, very different from most people.
Mm. Okay.
I believe myself to be a very religious person.
Okay.
But I believe, Seb, that that even though I was raised as a Christian,
Yeah.
there's a lot of things that I doubt.
Okay.
That I have doubt of in our religion.
Okay.
At the same time, I've spent almost 20 years here in Melbourne, and I've actually read the Quran
Okay.
quite in depth.
Okay.
And when I say in depth, is I question everything.
Okay.
You know, I don't see either of these books
Yeah.
having impact in my life,
Okay.
but together,
Yep.
as well as other books and doctrines that I've read with other faiths,
Yep.
they all do.
Yep.
If that makes sense. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
A bit of reading in between the lines and
Yeah.
and sort of just taking what you think is it works and
It's
what
good.
you think is wrong or what you're
Yeah,
not
I don't
sure
think, you know what, man, you can look at it and it's obvious what's wrong,
of.
but you can never say that, oh, you know, the Christian faith is this
Yep.
and it's not that. Then,
Well, you know what? What you're explaining is pretty. It's sort of like a modern Samoan way of looking at things,
Yeah.
but Samoans are not as forgiving with their religions. It's like, no, you're talking
know.
blasphemous. Like,
I know, bro.
it's like this is the book and this is it.
Mate,
Like,
you
don't
know,
chop and change. Everything in this book is the truth.
my sister and I, we go at it.
Okay.
We go at it.
Yeah.
We go at it, Sip.
Okay. But when you say you go at it,
We
you're having
argue.
a good. But is it an argument?
Starts off good.
Is that like a lot of yelling, or is it
I'm good.
like can you actually call it a discussion?
Yeah, you can.
All right.
You know, for quite a lot of it.
Okay.
She gets upset all the time.
Okay.
She's older than me, you know. She's like,
That's hard, man.
too much fear poko, bro. And I'm like, yeah, I know. But until, you know, and I love it. Because even here, Sip, I sit down for about 4 or 5 hours with some of my Muslim brothers,
Yeah.
and we go at it.
Okay.
Not once in any of these meetings that we have, or any of these conversations, do I truly back
Yeah.
my Christian faith.
Okay.
Because it's you know, there's still holes in it from where I stand, from what I see.
Yeah.
I'm more than happy to be told, you know, that Jesus. I'm more than happy
Yeah.
to understand
Yeah.
when people say Jesus is not the Son of God. I'm more than okay with it, bro.
Okay.
I'm not one of these Christians that go, that's very bad.
Well, see, I guess your perspective comes with a lot of if you put yourself in a position where you've read all these different books, you know, you've read the Quran, you've went through the Bible,
Yeah.
I don't know, different sort of Bibles out there.
I've seen some books.
Yeah.
I've seen some books that people don't, you know. I've seen some books, bro, said that they give revelation to people that have read our Bible of 400 years ago, because
Okay.
400 years ago was when one of the last translations of our Holy Bible was made.
Okay.
You know, so in that there was so many changes.
Yeah.
But before that change, there was changes in it 200 years before that, 100 years before that, 100 years before that. Little changes,
Yeah.
little things, but you can't look at it today and say, you know, that it's blasphemy, man.
Religion is such a big thing.
It's massive.
And it's so broad on how you look at it now.
All I say,
It's not just black and white. There's a fucking
I know.
shitload of grey areas.
Bro, all I say to people when they knock on my door and they come into my house and I get them a cup of tea.
Oh, you're kidding. You invite everybody that comes and knocks on your
I
door.
don't mind, Sep, you know why? Because I just want to hear some answers.
Okay.
I just want to know. And the worst ones...
You ambush them.
The worst ones are our Samoan women.
Oh, yeah.
Because they always end up swearing at me and walking out my house. You know? And then they'll bring back and apologize and all that. Because my perception is simple.
Yep.
This is, you know, like, prove it.
Yeah.
Prove that, you know...
Why do they get angry?
They just get upset because they don't
Okay.
have the answer.
Okay.
That's all. And I say to them, don't get angry.
Well, the answer's in the book.
Yeah.
There's not. They can't just go. Well, you know. Yeah. Look, YouTube. Look, there's what happens.
And, oh, look, you know, so many times. Look, Clay, it's
Yeah.
here. I said,
Okay.
that sentence and how you read it is in 4 other different books, and it's written just slightly differently. 400 years ago, that sentence wasn't actually that sentence.
Okay.
It made two remarks of 2 words that we used, but everything else was rephrased. She says, prove it. And I can't be bothered going through all that.
Okay.
You need to go look through all that.
Yeah.
You know, it's good. All I need to say to you guys, the Bible, when you open it, it's a good book. It gives the most important message of all. And they say, what's that message, Clay? It's a message of love.
Oh.
The Quran is the same.
Okay.
You open that book, except you don't have to read it.
Yeah.
You close it and say, that's a book of love. So when you take all these books, bro, and you put it together, it's about good people who have been trying
Yep.
to bring the world together.
Yeah.
As a collation of goodness
Yeah.
and what's right.
Oh, man.
That's all.
Yeah.
I went back to New Zealand 2 years ago for a friend's funeral, and I hooked up with my whaiwhi au, who I grew up with.
Oh, yeah. It's trouble.
Nah, said, listen, this man,
Yeah.
Mose Tu Saula is his name.
Okay.
He said to me, Clay, you know, because he speaks really good English.
Yeah.
Clay, you look a little bit, you know. I said, Mose, you know, I've been reading a lot of stuff. And you know what he said to me? He said, that's good. You're a smart guy.
Yeah.
You know? Understand and accept.
Mm.
You know, never deny. I said, that's true, Mose. One day we're going to have to come up with, you know, what's honest and what's true. He goes, you don't have to.
Yeah.
You won't have to. I said, well, one day, you know. He goes, nah. You know, what's good will always be good. So why do you have to find the answer? What's true will always be true, and you don't have to find an answer.
Yes. You know, all this sort of stuff also, it's pretty deep, man.
Yeah.
You know, and probably too deep to keep on going on. But these sort of things that you take, you know, the whole spiritual side of what you're trying to say, that, you know, the whole philosophical point of view on it. Did you find a way to sort of like share it, like through your teachings, you know, in your gym?
Yeah.
Like, is it somehow filter through, like it come through?
It does, but you've got to be clever about it, Seb.
Yeah.
You know, you can't teach a kid to punch someone in the face, how to punch someone in the face,
Yeah.
and say, but Jesus loves you.
Oh yeah, I know. It's going to be.
You can't confuse
You're not going to be God this, God that. You know, and all this. But
So
you know, just you know,
It does.
Is there a way that it comes
course.
through?
Because after showing them what I show them, what I
Yeah.
teach them, you know, especially when you're trying to administer it so that they understand things in martial arts,
Yeah.
in a self-defense perspective,
Yeah.
in the fact that you do this when someone tries to hurt you,
Yeah.
or when someone tries to injure you or do harm to anyone that you care and love.
Yeah.
You know, but at the end of the day, you know, there's a wrong and a right.
Yes.
And this
Regardless of whether it's self-defense.
yeah, there's a wrong and a right.
Okay.
You know? So until that day comes, you use this stuff here
Yeah.
to filter every single thing that happens in your life by doing it right, by doing it correct,
Okay.
by doing it as correctly as you know, as you think and feel.
Mm.
You know, this stuff that I teach you here is just so that you get in touch
Yeah.
with that part of you that could lose control,
Yeah.
or that could hurt someone else physically, or mentally, or verbally. You know, so there is this really tight connection between everything that we learn and teach in religion
Yeah.
to, you know, to that physical part of it.
Okay.
You know, if you don't understand, if you don't have an understanding of how they collate, you know,
Yeah.
and how they feed off each other,
Yes.
then you're always going to be in a little bit of a dark space,
Okay.
thinking that I could make a comeback again. Like every day I think I'll make a comeback, you know.
At 49,
Age is a number, Sep. You've heard that
Yeah.
a million times,
I
right?
have heard that.
Age is a number, man.
Yeah.
You know, this thing here, every year, it actually gets better. It gets-
For you, maybe for you, but not for other people.
clarity
Yeah.
becomes, you know,
There's a wisdom.
yeah, bro. And with that, with wisdom
Mm.
and with clarity,
Yeah.
there's nothing physical you can't do. Right now, all I know,
Yeah.
if I get back into training, Sep, if I prepare my body,
Yeah.
because I've had a very long time to rest it,
Yeah.
and I'm on the verge of knowing exactly how to prepare it.
Yeah.
I know that if I get back in the ring,
Yeah.
or if I get back in an octagon or anything like
Yeah.
that, I'm going to perform better.
Performing better than what Clay did the last time.
Yeah, than
Okay.
20 years ago.
Sure, that's massive, man. That's
I
big.
know, but it's right now it's just a mentality.
But is that yeah? That's the mentality for Clay to fight in that next fight, or is it Clay to fight in the circuit? Because it's grueling, man.
It's grueling.
Like,
But you
like
can't-
it's like a day job. You turn up, and then in the end, it's like
You
you're
know
doing
what
something
they
else.
said, but you know what? You've pretty much stopped something in your life
Yeah,
to get a grip and to get and you know and to get a positive from something else.
okay,
I've built my businesses and I've raised my kids and I've got nothing but positive from it.
okay,
So now that things have gotten to that point where they're still pushing along and prodding along and doing well, now I feel like mentally
yeah,
and physically,
yeah,
I think I can tackle this fucking
Okay.
this dream again.
yeah. But when you're talking about the whole mentality of it, does that include passion? Is the passion still there?
That's
Like,
what
you know,
I can-
does it still excite you going in there and,
yeah,
and wanting to fight?
I can
Like,
sit here and say to you yes,
yeah,
but the honest truth is, I think I just want to prove myself. I think I just want to prove other people wrong. That's the dumb side of it. I think I just want to prove other people wrong.
Oh yeah, you know when you said that, I'm looking at you like walking past Andy Hayden and saying fuck you.
I know, bro.
It's like
It's still there.
Yeah, that's still the young Clay walking past.
It's still there, Sip. That
Yeah,
that fucking that.
but you're gonna use it this time. It's
Yeah.
like yeah,
That want to fucking kill it
Mm,
and not and not take any shit from anyone attitude.
yeah,
That's still there. You need that.
yeah. But you're always
Yeah.
gonna have that.
Yeah.
But you know that's not going to change. But is it like you just want to go out and promote it? Like, is that what you want?
Nah, it's not about.
But it's there. You just
Yeah.
you want to go out there and you just
Yeah,
love.
I want to
the
make
whole,
a mark.
Yeah. Okay.
I want to make a stand. These days, when me and the boys, when we want to get back in the ring,
Mm,
it's just to prove to ourselves
Okay.
and to prove to other people that say you can't
yeah.
that we can. But in saying that, you have to do everything that it takes.
Do you have to do everything and more, or do
And
you have to
more.
do just?
No, you just gotta make sure that mentally
Yeah.
you're gonna be good with this afterwards.
Okay.
And then you begin the process. And the process,
Is it the same process, or like remember
It's
what we're
the
talking
same.
about? Does something change? Do you have to do something change? Does your
No, you
approach
just-
change?
no, you just gotta make everything better.
Okay.
You know, okay, let's just say, I want to fight.
Yeah.
I want to fight in that fight 3 months from now.
Yeah.
Okay. Food, rest, recuperation. Yeah, 3 things first, and then 4th thing, family. That comes way before even training,
Yeah.
and then preparation. So these things I think are good.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about these 4 things, because now this takes that priority, but not.
Okay.
But you're smart enough
All right,
now.
I'm going to tell you, man. Also, we're talking about it. How much is it? Like, give me a percentage on where you're at with what you're talking about.
55%.
You're 55%.
Yeah, you know why? Because 45% is still that reality check.
Okay.
You've got a fucked ankle. You can't kick with that. You've got a busted knee.
Oh, right. I'll make sure I edit all this, all right?
You know what I mean? But you know what I mean, sir?
Yeah.
No, but you've got to let the young people know
Yeah.
that there is always negative.
Okay.
But, you know, don't let negativity define what you can be.
Yeah.
You know, don't let negativity hinder the next 10 years of your life.
Yeah.
If in 10 years from now you're going to look back and go, fuck, I should have done that.
Well, that's the whole thing, isn't it? Like, you got to get out there and try it because regardless of whether you win or lose, something is going to come out of it.
Man.
And so, how would that process go, though, Clay? Would there be fights leading up to that fight? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Of course, you prepare yourself for something simple.
So you'll be fighting against other journeymen, maybe some young fellas starting out.
Yeah.
Eh? Beating them up. Or...
Trust me, bro. It's been dabbling my brain for the last 10 years.
Wow.
But that's exactly how it goes. All right, first a test fight. Let's see where we stand.
Well, also, when I read what you wrote down, and I'm going to post it on so everybody can see. It was pretty profound how you pictured that moment,
Yeah.
and how you and it's almost like you look back on that every day, that moment that you fought Mark, and then it could have been that could have been the opportunity.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I take out of it.
I like to look back at that fight, bro, and it's exactly that. It was either a gateway for him or a gateway for me. Unfortunately for me, it was a gateway for Mark. That's how I look at it. But at the same time, Seb, I know how God, let's just say God, right?
Yeah.
I know how God sat there on that night and channeled which one of these guys wants it more, needs it more, and has it more.
Okay.
I can look back now with comfort, bro, and say, that fucking coconut wanted it more than me.
Well, he did, man. And he just smashed everybody on his way to winning that title.
You know, losing that fight to him, that I lost to him, that was like devastation.
Tell me about that. Like, when you talk about devastation...
That was like a moral, that was like, even though...
Could have been a moment where you could have just chucked it all in, as well, no?
Yeah, it could have been, because now...
Would there be, I don't know, maybe like a bit of no depression? Like you didn't feel hard on yourself? Like
look, man,
not to say that that's depression, but I'm saying like how bad was it?
Of course, it was bad. It was bad. I don't like to think back and say that it was depression as what we think of depression now.
Yes.
Fuck, I was pretty down.
Wow.
Because I've just lost to a kid.
Yeah.
That I always was mentally better than.
Okay.
I feel I was always better than that guy.
Yeah.
Because I come from this.
Yeah.
That was back then. But, geez, how wrong we are. How wrong we are in life, man. A lot.
Yeah, that's right, man.
You learn these lessons, man, and you got to learn to fucking keep going. Mark Hunt, he killed my passion.
for that point in time, but then your passion sort of just changed direction. Where talk about your gym. Hey, that's a big effort to start up something like this.
Yeah, I mean, like
that's massive.
This was always, and when I look back at it now, Sep, this was my dream.
Wow.
This was my dream.
Yep.
And dreams change, right? But as an adult, losing rugby, right? Losing boxing, because I lost I lost my spur for boxing a very long time ago.
Okay.
And then even as a kickboxer, I didn't quite physically and mentally get to that point where I should have gotten to.
Okay.
Should have and could have easily done a lot better than what I did. No excuses. It is what it is. So you move to the next part of your life. Okay, do I go back to a normal 9 to 5?
Yep.
And live it out? No. You live the dream.
Well, prior to that, like, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't. I always work one job all my life. Like, you know.
Yeah.
I know my life's been pretty busy at the moment, but you work 3 jobs. Like, you know, does that help make you the sort of person and give you a bit of drive to do, you know?
Yeah, I think it does give you. I mean, it does give you a sense of.
Obviously there was a drive, but like you had to make a certain amount of money. You had to pay the bills. So whether it took 1 job, 2 jobs, or 3 jobs, hard enough turning up for 3 jobs.
I know. No. You know, you do what you need to do. Back then, it's just, man, I've got to pay these bills.
Yeah.
But I've also got to make an effort to, you know, to move my family forward.
Okay.
You know, at the time then it was like, I want to get my kids to good schools.
Yeah.
I don't want them to go shitty schools like I did. You know, so not just 1 job. I need to do 2 jobs.
Why do you want them to go to the other schools? Is it going to make them better? Like,
no,
we went to public schools.
Yeah, that's my mentality back then, Seb.
Yeah.
You know, because you always wanted something better than what you had.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? My mentality back then was such an anger for where I grew up.
Yeah.
And the life, you know, the life that we have in South Auckland. I always thought, I want something a little bit better. You know what I mean? So I did try to grind it out.
Yeah.
You know, to give what I didn't have.
Wow.
I think that's what I think that was the initial drive, was just to try and make things better for them that I didn't have. You know, and losing and missing out on going to things like university. Yeah. You know, that was a big thing for me. I really wanted to.
Do you still think that?
What's that? No.
Like, you know, the big deal about going to universities and all that, because there's a big, especially with Polynesians, that's the story you're told. You know, do well in school, go to university, and then I look back and I go to university for what?
No, it's a scam.
Like, yeah,
it's like a scam. University
for what?
Is a scam.
Like, not all of us can become doctors and lawyers, and I think that's the only thing that universities are there. Otherwise, you can learn everything else.
Not all of us will become doctors and lawyers because they won't allow it. The system doesn't let it happen. I'm serious, bro.
Okay.
The system doesn't let it happen, bro.
Yeah. Okay.
Because some of us work our way through the cracks.
Yeah.
But for the 1 or 2 that make their way through the cracks, the difficulties are in fitting in.
Yep.
If you're the one Samoan kid in a class of all these Palangi kids, socially you're exposed to racial tension, discriminative tension. Even if you don't think it, and the kids that you're with don't think it, teachers and adults think it.
Okay.
So the mentality is still there.
But then there's also the opportunity of you know, socially making you know, good friends that could help you.
That's true.
You know, that in the next steps. You know,
That's true,
and whatever you want to do, because they may not be the best students there, but they've got connections, and I think that's the way those schools work out. Really,
that's absolutely spot on.
You know.
Now,
other than that, scholastically, you just might as well just send them to a public school.
I know.
You know.
But that's what that's what we get forced. I believe to do it. Yeah, like exactly what you just said. And the ones that do make it through the cracks, the amount of pressure that's on those poor kids to absolutely not stuff up. So it's very rare that one of our kids will make it through there and become well spoken and become within that circle. But then, once again, they are still the only kid in that circle. And then society turns around and goes, there's an island kid in that. why notice the island kid in that little social clique? Why? Because he's not supposed to be there. That's the racial tension that I've looked at, but it can be beaten.
Yeah.
Said, I'm not saying that,
Well, Clay, I'll ask you, when you say the racial tension that you've looked at, where have you looked at?
Just basically here.
Okay.
Because this is our,
Is this for your own kids?
for my own kids
Okay.
and friends' kids.
Yeah. So is this something is this something that's come to you now, or something that you've always known?
No, I've had to live through it.
Okay.
I've had to live through
Okay.
it, experience it.
Yep.
Sep, and it's not just with my kids, but
Okay.
with many kids, island boys and girls,
Yep.
that if I had it my way, bro, they would be very well educated.
Okay.
And they would be in very good courses that
Yep.
that would present them with the right kind of qualification.
Okay.
And there's so many of our kids that have that, but aren't channeled properly. And when
Okay.
they're channeled through this, I call it the Western system,
Yeah.
there's always cracks there for us to slip off. And you know what one of the worst parts is? One of our kids makes it all the way through to university,
Yeah.
makes it all the way through, and then he gets the qualification that's
Yeah.
needed. Then the rest of his family will start to lower him. Especially us Samoans.
Oh.
Devalue what he's done. Our Samoan, oh look, bro, I hope it changes real quick.
I think I'm listening to you.
Yeah.
I think there's since I've jumped on podcasting, especially with my website and stuff like that, I'm starting to tap in more on what's going on LinkedIn and Facebook, especially with a lot of organisations, Polynesian ones especially. There's a lot of support out there for business. Not too sure how that goes with schooling. Maybe there's certain organisations that give out grants and stuff like that to help them through with their schooling. I think you've got to put yourself on that platform first as a student, to be able to be eligible for them. But as far as going out and becoming an entrepreneur as what you are, and many, if you want to start up your own business, man, there's so much support out there, especially, and there's groups that are getting built up now. I see Sione from Wina. Yeah, he's a president of one of those groups, those organisations that like to nurture business, Polynesians and stuff like that. And I think it's fantastic. But as far as what was schooling, I think it's sort of changed. Uni, they got to stop badgering these kids and having a look at their real strengths.
That's right.
Especially with a lot of the kids coming up from our age, a lot of them are finding it hard to sort of they're doing their whatever jobs, but a lot of them are just so much potential, so much energy that I don't think university was going to be their thing.
Seb, like I've had friends who come out of university and they, even though they have the qualification in their pocket, they just can't find themselves in the clique, in the right.
Well, that's another thing as well.
In the right society that gives them that appreciation of what they've accomplished.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
One of my very good friends, bro, he's one of the most educated freaking guys that come out of medical school.
Wow.
Even done 3 years in the US.
Yeah.
Because his sports science degrees are major.
Wow.
Comes back here, bro, and unless people are ringing him for one thing at a time.
Yeah.
There's the Tuareg crowd. Oh, sorry man, we don't have a position.
Okay.
But this guy is more qualified than anyone there. It's crazy. I mean, that's just a side thing,
I think if me personally, I believe if it's something that you really want, you'll find a way of getting there.
That's true.
I think looking for other people to hold your hand through things.
Yeah.
I think as Polynesians, because we love that support. You know, we get built on having that support. Getting,
I know.
you need somebody to sort of push you through that door.
That's
You know
right.
what I mean?
And we get down on ourselves
and then
when there isn't.
when we have to make that decision on our own, it's hard when you look around and there's nobody there. You know
That's
what I
right.
mean?
That's the hard part.
And I think a lot of islanders are becoming independent that way.
Yeah.
You know, where they're making good, strong decisions on their own and stuff like that. You know,
I think they are, but-
at the same time, they're doing the best for their family. So where do you go from here, man? So like
We've also got community programs that run through the gym.
oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, we kind of have a group of police that work through here.
Yep.
As well, with myself and with my brother and all that.
Yeah.
They work together with the with the councils, with the local councils.
Yes.
For me personally, it's just to give back to making sure that kids don't end up on the street
Okay.
for too long, and that they're all sort of well looked after and given a fair go. You know.
Do you get a lot of Polynesians coming
A
through?
lot of them, bro. And a lot of them is the answers are very simple.
Yep.
You know?
And they're pretty receptive to the help that you give them?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They are most of the time.
Okay.
You know, but it's just family environment that sometimes a hurdle.
Yeah.
You know, because sometimes now parents, when they got themselves down in a bad situation, they just don't see a way out of it, and they kind of just let it. You know, and I don't know why that is, man. I'm not sure why that is.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what the answer is to that, because they should be all determined enough.
Yeah.
If we're offering a helping hand,
Yeah.
they should be determined enough to say, hey man, let's run with it, because but some of them are just like,
I think we got to put ourselves in their shoes. I think.
that's right.
I think about that sometimes when I talk to my kids. It's like, Seb, you forget what you were like at 16.
Yeah.
Like, you're acting like the old grandpa, like that lived back in the horse and cart days.
Yeah, I know.
You know, things have changed. Do you do anything else with with the Polynesian communities?
I mean, not so much with the communities, unless they're ringing me and asking me, like.
Does that happen a lot?
Bro, they always ring me for financial.
Oh, okay.
I'm like,
yeah.
I'm not one of these.
Yeah.
People
You're still a squirrel trying to get a nut. Like,
Sip,
I ain't got enough nuts to give around.
But everyone thinks, you got a gym, you run this
yep.
company, that company, you're a millionaire. It's not like that.
Yeah, I know.
It's not like that, man. It's, and I explained it to a couple of people before.
Yeah.
But they upset me because they're like, oh yeah, sure.
Okay.
They're like, they think I'm joking,
Yeah.
They think, oh, this fella here owns 4 companies,
Mm.
and they all seem like, because, everyone kind of knows about them and whatnot, but they think just because that happens, you're making millions.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not making, I'm making, just enough to keep my family fed, just enough to, to have small luxuries. But it's not,
I know. Sometimes people forget that some people just don't do things for money. Sometimes it's you're doing something to give back. We'll leave that for another time. But thanks a lot, Clay. That was awesome, man. So much I learned from you. I don't learn it from everybody else. So just when you think you know somebody,
yeah,
and then it's like, geez, I never saw that side of you. I knew you like to knock heads and like to smash people over. But
you see, Seb, that's a perception.
Yeah.
And that's what I put out there sometimes.
Okay.
But everyone that sits down with me, they'll go. I mean, I've had police that sit down with me and they say, "Geez, man, all these lies that we hear." I said, "They're not lies."
Yeah.
I say, "You have punched this fella." Yeah, I punched that fella. That's what's necessary for the time.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, come on, Clay," I'm like.
But I say that more in a sort of endearing sort of memory. But I also know you as the bloke that we used to just muck around with as well. At school. No, but thanks, man. Thanks a lot for
That's all
for
right.
taking the time out, man. I know you're a busy man.
Aye, you don't have to come all the way out here, bro.
I know I wanted you in my studio, man. But no, all good, man. It's a perfect location.
Yeah.
No, Malo, love it, man. Loved it.